God says, I am about to restore what you thought was permanently lost, and this restoration will reach deeper than money, deeper than property, deeper than anything you once believed defined your future. Do not scroll away from these words, because what I am speaking into your life right now carries the weight of healing, renewal, and a turning point that your heart has quietly cried out for during nights when no one else could hear you. If you are receiving this with faith, comment 1111. I am not speaking to the crowd in this moment, but to you personally, to the one who has felt overlooked, delayed, and stretched beyond what seemed fair. I am opening your eyes to understand that restoration is not a random event, but a deliberate act of my love that unfolds at the exact time your soul is strong enough to carry it. When I say I am restoring what was lost, I am revealing that I have already begun aligning circumstances, softening hardened places, and moving unseen pieces into position so that what returns to you will not be fragile, temporary, or easily taken again. You believe some doors closed forever, yet I allowed those closures to protect you from settling into spaces that would have limited your growth and drained your spirit. What felt like loss was often my hand guiding you away from smaller rooms so that you would not miss the house of peace I am building within your life. This is why you must listen carefully until the end, because understanding this shift will help you walk into it without fear, doubt, or self-sabotage. The restoration I am bringing is not only about physical things, but about confidence that was shaken, joy that faded, trust that cracked, and dreams that you buried because disappointment felt heavier than hope. I am rebuilding you from the inside, so that when blessings arrive, you will no longer shrink back or question whether you deserve them. I am strengthening your identity so you stop defining yourself by past mistakes, missed opportunities, or seasons of lack. This turning point matters because once your heart is steady, no external storm will be able to uproot what I plant in your life. Within the next season of your journey, you will begin to notice small confirmations that something is changing, and these signs will not scream loudly, but will quietly reassure you that my hand is moving steadily on your behalf. You may feel a sudden peace where anxiety once ruled, or a renewed desire to try again in areas where you once felt exhausted. These are not coincidences, but gentle evidence that I am preparing you to receive what you once thought was beyond reach. If this speaks to your spirit and you are willing to stand in faith, take a moment to press like on this video so that more hearts can be reminded that I still restore and I still redeem. I know how long you have waited, and I have counted every tear you tried to hide behind forced smiles and quiet endurance. I saw the times you encouraged others while secretly wondering when your own breakthrough would come. I was present in the moments when you questioned whether your prayers were reaching me at all. I have never been absent from your struggle, even when my silence felt confusing and heavy. What you interpreted as delay was often development, because I was shaping your patience, refining your character, and strengthening your discernment so that you would not step into the wrong restoration out of desperation. Some opportunities had the appearance of answers, but they would have cost you your peace and drained your calling. I protected you from blessings that looked impressive, but carried hidden burdens that would have slowly suffocated your joy. My restoration does not come with chains attached, and when I return something to your life, it will not control you or own you. I am also healing relationships in ways you cannot yet see, not always by restoring the same connections, but by bringing healthier bonds that honor your growth and respect your boundaries. The people I am aligning with you will not compete with your purpose or belittle your progress. They will support your calling and celebrate your obedience. This is part of restoration too, because I am not only concerned with what you have, but with who surrounds you while you hold it. There were seasons when you felt embarrassed by how far behind you thought you were compared to others, yet I was never measuring you against their timeline. I designed your path with intention, knowing exactly which lessons you needed and which strengths would emerge through adversity. Your journey has never been a mistake, and even your detours have been woven into a greater design that leads towards stability and fruitfulness. I am turning what seemed wasted into wisdom that will guide you wisely in the days ahead. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust that I am not restoring you to the same level you once stood on, because I am lifting you into a higher understanding of who you are and what you carry. The confidence you once sought from external approval is being replaced with quiet assurance rooted in my presence. The security you once attached to possessions is being transformed into trust in my provision. This shift is more valuable than any temporary gain because it anchors you in something eternal. As you continue listening, allow these words to settle deeply into your spirit instead of brushing them aside as wishful thinking. I am not teasing you with false hope, nor am I asking you to force belief out of thin air. I am reminding you of my character, which has always been faithful, steady, and full of compassion. If you are ready to walk into this season of restoration with courage and trust, declare Amen in the comments. What's really behind the 7-second brain trick exploding online? A leaked CIA ritual is turning heads and bank balances. Backed by neuroscience labs, this at-home method removes money blocks and unlocks unstoppable wealth flow. But the page could vanish any time. Click the link in the first comment before it's permanently deleted. I am continuing to speak into the place where you once felt empty, because restoration does not happen in a single moment of excitement, but through steady renewal that reaches every hidden corner of your heart and every fragile thought that once told you it was over. You have carried quiet disappointment for longer than most people realize, and even when you smiled in public, there was a part of you that wondered whether your best days had already passed you by. I am telling you now that your future has not been reduced by your past, and your destiny has not been cancelled by delay. What I am building in you is not fragile optimism, but rooted confidence that grows stronger with every step of obedience you take. There were times when you tried to fix everything on your own, believing that if you worked harder or pushed yourself further, you could force the outcome you desired. I allowed some of those efforts to fall short, so that you would learn to lean on my wisdom instead of exhausting yourself chasing temporary solutions. I never wanted you to carry burdens that were meant for my hands, and I never designed you to measure your worth by productivity or visible success. The restoration unfolding in your life is teaching you to move with trust rather than panic, and to rest in my timing instead of rushing ahead of my peace. You are not behind, even though comparison tried to convince you that you were missing out while others moved ahead. I see the full path of your life, and I know why certain doors closed and why certain plans dissolved before they fully formed. Those closures were not punishments but protection. And those delays were not rejection, but redirection towards something better aligned with who you are becoming. I am not restoring you to impress others, but to establish you in a place where you can stand without fear of losing what you have been given. There is a deeper confidence rising within you, and it is not loud or arrogant, but calm and steady, like a foundation being laid beneath your feet. You will begin to notice that situations which once triggered anxiety now feel manageable, because your trust in me has grown quietly over time. This is part of the miracle, even if it does not look dramatic from the outside, because inner peace is a treasure that cannot be purchased or stolen. If you believe that I am strengthening you from the inside out, write 10 inches the comments. I am also restoring your sense of direction, because confusion once clouded your vision and made every decision feel overwhelming. You hesitated, not because you were weak, but because fear of making another mistake kept you frozen. I am lifting that heaviness from your shoulders and replacing it with clarity that unfolds step by step. You do not need to see the entire road ahead, because I will guide each turn as you remain close to me. The faith you are developing now is different from the faith you had before, because it has been tested and refined through disappointment and waiting. It is no longer based on excitement alone, but on endurance that has survived seasons of silence. That kind of faith carries weight, and it cannot be shaken easily by temporary setbacks. I am proud of the way you kept believing, even when answers did not come as quickly as you hoped. I am also teaching you to release regret that has lingered in your thoughts, replaying old conversations and missed opportunities as if you could rewrite them by dwelling on them. Regret has no power over your present unless you allow it to define your identity. I have forgiven what you have already confessed, and I have redeemed moments that once felt wasted. When you let go of those memories, you create room for the new things I am bringing into your life. You will notice that your desires are shifting as well, because some of the things you once chased no longer hold the same grip on your heart. This is not loss but growth, because I am aligning your dreams with your purpose rather than with pressure or comparison. The ambitions I place inside you will bring fulfillment without stealing your peace. They will stretch you, but they will not crush you. There will be conversations in the coming days that confirm what I am preparing, and these conversations will feel natural rather than forced. You will sense doors opening without manipulation or striving. Pay attention to the peace that accompanies these opportunities, because my guidance is often recognized by calm assurance rather than loud excitement. I am teaching you discernment so that you walk into what is meant for you and step away from what only looks impressive. The restoration I bring also includes your ability to trust yourself again, because doubt once made you second-guess every decision and every instinct. I have been rebuilding your confidence quietly, reminding you through small victories that you are capable and equipped. You will not need constant validation from others, because my approval will become enough. This freedom will allow you to move forward without being trapped by fear of judgment. Your story is not defined by the season when you felt overlooked or forgotten. That chapter shaped your resilience, but it does not represent the fullness of who you are. I am expanding your territory in ways that reflect growth rather than mere survival. You are stepping into a space where you no longer apologize for taking up room in the world. I am restoring your joy as well, not the temporary happiness tied to circumstances, but the steady joy that remains even when life feels uncertain. This joy is rooted in knowing that I am with you and that I am actively working on your behalf. It will surprise you how quickly heaviness can lift when you choose to focus on my presence instead of your problems. If you are ready to embrace this renewed joy, declare 1212 in the comments. The secret ritual they never wanted public is finally out. A 7-second brain technique, backed by leaked CIA data and 4 neuroscience labs, is helping families erase debt and attract money on autopilot. But this miracle won't stay public long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's gone forever. As you move forward, remember that restoration does not mean everything returns exactly as it was before. In many cases, I replace what was lost with something healthier, stronger, and more aligned with your calling. Do not cling to old forms simply because they are familiar, because I am shaping something that fits the person you have become. Trust that my version of restoration exceeds your expectations, even when it looks different from your original plan. I am proud of your endurance, even when you felt invisible in your effort to keep going. Every quiet act of faith mattered, and every small step of obedience built strength within you. You may not have seen immediate results, but growth was happening beneath the surface. Roots were deepening, even when branches seemed still. In the coming season, you will notice a shift in how you speak about yourself and your future. Words of defeat will slowly be replaced with words of expectation. This change is not forced positivity, but the natural outcome of realizing that I am actively restoring you. The more you align your thoughts with my truth, the more confident and steady you will feel. I was strengthening your endurance so that when the answers arrived, you would recognize them as gifts rather than coincidences. I was shaping your perspective so that you would value peace more than applause and stability more than quick success. You once believed that if circumstances changed, then your heart would finally settle, but I have been teaching you that true stability begins inside before it ever shows up outside. The miracle of restoration often starts with a shift in mindset, where fear loses its authority and trust begins to take root again. When you look back on the season that felt barren, you will realize it was a hidden classroom where your faith matured beyond surface belief. That maturity is what will allow you to handle future blessings without being overwhelmed by them. I am also restoring your sense of worth, because disappointment tried to convince you that you were somehow less capable or less favored than others. That lie attached itself quietly to your thoughts and influenced how you approached opportunities and relationships. I am breaking that false narrative and replacing it with truth that you are deeply valued and intentionally chosen. Your worth has never been measured by achievements, income, or recognition, but by the love I have always held for you. There are new responsibilities ahead that will require confidence rather than hesitation, and I am preparing you gently so that you step into them without shrinking back. You will find yourself speaking with greater clarity and acting with greater decisiveness because you are no longer paralyzed by the fear of failing again. This change will not feel forced or dramatic, but natural and steady, as though something inside you has quietly aligned. That alignment is my hand guiding you into a more secure version of yourself. As restoration unfolds, you may notice that some connections fade while others strengthen, and this shift will not be accidental. I am refining your circle so that the people around you support your growth rather than compete with it. Some relationships served a purpose for a season, but they cannot accompany you into the next chapter. Release them with grace, trusting that what remains will be healthier and more aligned with your calling. You once worried that time was slipping away and that you had missed your chance for certain dreams to come alive. I am reminding you that I exist beyond the limits of your timeline, and I am able to accelerate what seemed delayed when the moment is right. Nothing that is truly meant for you has been permanently lost. What matters most is that your heart is prepared to receive it without fear or self-doubt. If you are choosing to trust my timing, even when it challenges your patience, write 777 inches the comments. This act of agreement strengthens your commitment to walk forward with confidence rather than anxiety. It is not about impressing anyone, but about affirming within yourself that you believe I am actively working on your behalf. Every small declaration of faith builds momentum in your spirit. I am restoring your creativity as well, because there were ideas you set aside when discouragement convinced you they were unrealistic. I placed those dreams within you for a reason, and I have not forgotten them, even if you did for a while. The spark that once felt dim is being reignited, and you will feel renewed excitement about possibilities that once seemed distant. This revival of vision is part of your restoration, because it reconnects you with purpose. There will be moments when doubt tries to resurface, whispering that this change is temporary or fragile. When that happens, remember the evidence of my faithfulness throughout your life. Remember the times you survived situations that should have broken you completely. Those memories are reminders that I have always carried you through what felt impossible. Your restoration will not isolate you from challenges, but it will equip you to face them with steadiness and hope. Instead of reacting from fear, you will respond from confidence rooted in my presence. This difference may seem subtle at first, but over time it will transform how you experience life. You will no longer be controlled by every shift in circumstance, because your foundation will be secure. I am also healing areas of your heart that you tried to ignore, believing that time alone would erase the pain. True healing requires surrender, and you have begun that process by acknowledging where you were hurt. I am meeting you in those vulnerable spaces and replacing bitterness with compassion and resentment with understanding. This inner freedom is essential for the next season I am leading you into. Is this leaked CIA ritual the missing key to your financial breakthrough? A once hidden brain ritual is spreading fast. This strange 7-second method, confirmed by elite neuroscience labs, activates your brain's wealth magnet. The government may shut this down. If you're seeing this, you are God's chosen child. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. You may find that gratitude becomes easier as restoration unfolds, because you are beginning to see how much has already been preserved and protected in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what was missing to what was sustained. It opens your eyes to quiet blessings that were always present, even during struggle. That perspective will anchor you in joy that is not easily shaken. The confidence growing within you will influence how you walk, speak, and decide, and others will sense that something has changed even if they cannot fully explain it. They will notice calm where there was once tension and clarity where there was once confusion. This transformation is not for pride, but for testimony of what steady faith can produce. Your life will reflect the strength that comes from trusting me through every season. If you are ready to embrace the full measure of restoration I am bringing, declare 5 inches, the comments. Let this be a sign that you are stepping forward without clinging to old fears. Let it mark the moment you choose courage over hesitation. Your agreement with my direction matters more than you realize. Continue to remain close to me in prayer and reflection, because restoration flourishes in an atmosphere of connection. When you seek me first, clarity follows naturally and peace settles deeply. I am not rushing you into change without support, but guiding you carefully so that each step feels secure. Trust that the work I am doing within you will manifest outwardly in ways that reflect stability, purpose, and lasting fulfillment. The season ahead is not defined by what you lost, but by what you have learned and who you have become. You are no longer the same person who once felt overwhelmed and uncertain. You are stronger, wiser, and more aware of my presence in your daily life. Walk forward knowing that restoration is not a fleeting moment, but an ongoing unfolding of my faithfulness in every area of your journey. What you once called your breaking point has become evidence of your strength, because you are still here, still believing, and still moving forward with hope. That quiet endurance has prepared you for the restoration that continues to unfold in ways you are only beginning to recognize. There were days when you questioned whether your faith was strong enough to carry you through prolonged uncertainty, yet I was strengthening you in ways that did not require dramatic signs or sudden shifts. I was teaching you to find me in ordinary moments, in steady breathing, in simple gratitude, and in daily discipline that did not always feel exciting but built lasting character. That kind of growth is not flashy, but it is powerful, because it creates a foundation that cannot be easily uprooted. Now you are stepping into a chapter where that foundation will support greater responsibility and deeper joy. You are no longer defined by the fear that once whispered you were unprepared or incapable, because I have been equipping you quietly with wisdom drawn from both success and failure. Every lesson you learn through difficulty has sharpened your discernment and strengthened your intuition. You will find yourself making decisions with more clarity, not because uncertainty has vanished completely, but because your trust in my guidance has matured. This trust is part of your restoration, because it frees you from the exhausting cycle of second-guessing yourself. I am also restoring your sense of expectation, because disappointment once taught you to lower your hopes as a form of self-protection. You convinced yourself that expecting less would hurt less, but that mindset slowly drained your enthusiasm for life. I am renewing your ability to anticipate good things without fear of being let down. Healthy expectation rooted in faith is not naive, but courageous, and I am cultivating that courage within you. There will be opportunities ahead that require you to step forward boldly instead of waiting for absolute certainty. You may feel a gentle push in your spirit urging you to act, to apply, to speak, or to create where you once hesitated. Pay attention to that nudge, because it is my way of guiding you into alignment with what I have prepared. Growth often requires movement before complete clarity, and I will not lead you where my presence cannot sustain you. If you are choosing to move forward with renewed expectation instead of shrinking back in fear, write 999 inches the comments. This declaration is not about proving anything to anyone, but about strengthening your agreement with the direction I am leading you. When you affirm your trust openly, you reinforce it internally. Each step of agreement builds confidence that will carry you further than doubt ever could. You may also notice that your reactions to setbacks are changing, because what once felt like devastating proof of failure now feels like temporary redirection. This shift in perspective is evidence that restoration has reached your mindset. You are learning to pause instead of panic, to reflect instead of react, and to seek my wisdom before drawing conclusions. That calm response will protect you from unnecessary stress and guide you toward wiser decisions. I am restoring your patience as well, not as passive waiting, but as active trust that continues moving forward while believing in my timing. Patience is not weakness, but strength under control, and it allows you to build steadily without rushing into unstable outcomes. The version of you that emerges from this season will be grounded and secure, not easily swayed by comparison or urgency. That stability will influence every area of your life, from relationships to work to personal growth. There are new levels of peace becoming available to you, and they are not dependent on everything being perfect around you. This peace is rooted in the awareness that I am guiding your path, even when details remain unclear. You will find yourself sleeping more soundly, thinking more clearly, and approaching challenges with balanced perspective. That inner calm is a sign that restoration has reached deeper than surface circumstances. I am also renewing your compassion, because hardship has given you insight into struggles others may never fully understand. Instead of becoming hardened by difficulty, you have become more empathetic and patient with those who are still finding their way. This quality will open doors for meaningful connections and influence, because people are drawn to authentic kindness. Restoration is not only about what you receive, but about how you impact others through the strength you gained. What if 7 seconds is all it takes to flip your financial fate? A shocking CIA leak just exposed a hidden brain ritual helping ordinary people erase debt and pull in massive wealth. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning struggle into luxury fast. But this page could be erased any moment. Click the link in the first comment now before it's gone forever. There will be moments when gratitude overwhelms you unexpectedly, because you will suddenly recognize how far you have come. Situations that once seemed impossible to overcome will feel like distant memories that shaped you without destroying you. That realization will bring both humility and confidence, reminding you that you are capable of enduring more than you once believed. I have been with you in every chapter, even the ones that felt lonely. If your heart is open to this deeper peace, and strengthened identity. Declare 2 inches the comments. Let this mark a decision to embrace the fullness of restoration rather than clinging to old fears. Each act of affirmation reinforces your commitment to walk forward without retreating into doubt. You are not stepping into uncertainty alone, but with my steady presence guiding you. As this season continues, you will find that your priorities shift naturally toward what truly matters. Superficial goals will lose their grip, and meaningful pursuits will gain clarity and importance. You will invest your energy more wisely, choosing growth over distraction and purpose over pressure. This realignment is part of the miracle because it positions you for lasting fulfillment rather than temporary satisfaction. You are not the same person who once felt stuck, overwhelmed, or invisible. The growth you experienced in hidden places has prepared you for visible change. Even if the world does not immediately recognize your transformation, you will feel it in the way you carry yourself and in the confidence that steadies your decisions. Restoration is not a single event, but a continuous unfolding of my faithfulness in your life. Continue walking forward with courage, knowing that every step you take in trust strengthens the path beneath your feet. I am not finished shaping your story, and the chapters ahead will reflect stability, growth, and deeper joy than you once imagined possible. Remain anchored in my presence, and you will see that what I restore is not fragile or fleeting, but enduring and life-giving. I am bringing you into a deeper awareness that the strength you carry now did not appear suddenly, but was formed through every quiet battle you fought when no one else understood the weight you were carrying. There were nights when you lay awake replaying conversations and decisions, wondering whether you had somehow ruined your own future through mistakes or missed chances. Even in those moments of doubt, I was holding your tomorrow securely, ensuring that no single misstep could erase the purpose I placed within you. Your life has never been hanging by a fragile thread, because my grace has been the foundation beneath every uncertain step. The restoration unfolding in you is teaching you to see your past with compassion instead of condemnation, because shame once distorted your memory and made you believe you were defined by your lowest points. I am reshaping that narrative so that you understand how growth often emerges from places of discomfort and correction. The lessons you learn through hardship are now becoming tools of wisdom that guide you forward with clarity. Nothing you endured was meaningless, and nothing you surrendered in obedience was wasted. You may feel moments of surprise when you realize that situations which once triggered fear now produce calm reflection instead, and that change is evidence of maturity rooted in trust. You are no longer reacting from wounded places, but responding from a healed perspective that recognizes my steady presence. This emotional stability is part of your restoration because it allows you to navigate challenges without losing your center. The peace you are experiencing is not accidental, but the result of surrendering control and allowing me to lead. There will be new doors opening that align with your refined character rather than your former insecurities, and these opportunities will feel balanced rather than overwhelming. You will sense alignment instead of pressure, and confidence instead of panic. I am guiding you towards spaces where your growth can flourish without constant struggle for validation. What I am building in you is sustainable, not temporary or dependent on fragile approval. If you feel your heart strengthening and your confidence growing through this season, write 15 inches the comments. This declaration reflects your willingness to acknowledge the progress you once overlooked. It is a sign that you recognize my work within you even before every external result becomes visible. Agreement with my process deepens your trust in the journey ahead. I am also restoring your courage to dream again without the shadow of disappointment dimming your imagination. You once hesitated to envision something greater because you feared the pain of unmet expectations. I am healing that hesitation and replacing it with balanced hope grounded in faith rather than fantasy. The dreams I awaken within you now will carry both vision and wisdom, ensuring that they are guided by purpose instead of impulse. There is a steady rebuilding happening in areas of your life that once felt unstable, and you will notice foundations strengthening where cracks once appeared. Financial worries, relational tensions, and internal doubts are gradually losing their grip as trust takes root. I am not removing every challenge instantly, but I am equipping you with resilience that outlasts temporary pressure. Strength formed in patience carries greater endurance than strength built in haste. You may encounter moments where the old version of yourself tries to resurface, whispering familiar fears and insecurities. When that happens, remember how far you have come and refuse to retreat into patterns that no longer define you. Growth sometimes feels unfamiliar, but it is evidence that you are evolving beyond survival into stability. I am not calling you back to the past, but forward into confidence. Your relationships will reflect this internal transformation as well, because when you operate from security rather than fear, your connections become healthier and more authentic. You will communicate with clarity instead of overthinking every word, and you will set boundaries without guilt. This balance is part of restoration, because it protects your peace while allowing love to flourish. I am shaping you into someone who gives from fullness rather than from emptiness. There is also renewed discipline forming in your daily habits, and this quiet consistency will produce visible results over time. You may not notice dramatic shifts immediately, but steady progress is unfolding beneath the surface. I am teaching you that lasting change is built through repeated small steps rather than sudden leaps. This understanding will prevent you from chasing quick fixes and anchor you in sustainable growth. People are asking why money is suddenly flowing into random lives. A leaked CIA discovery reveals a 7-second brain ritual that quietly rewires your mind for wealth. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, people are wiping out debt and stepping into luxury with ease. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. If you are ready to fully release the fear of returning to who you once were, declare 1919 inches the comments. Let this be a marker of your commitment to continue evolving rather than retreating. Your willingness to step forward reinforces the stability I am building within you. Each affirmation strengthens the path you are walking. As you move deeper into this season, you will recognize that restoration is not merely about regaining what was lost, but about gaining wisdom, clarity, and maturity that elevate your entire life. The person you are becoming carries greater depth, greater discernment, and greater peace than you once imagined possible. You will approach opportunities with balanced confidence and challenges with steady resolve. This transformation will influence every area of your journey. I am not rushing you into responsibilities beyond your readiness, but carefully aligning circumstances with the growth you have already experienced. Timing matters, and I have been orchestrating events so that when doors open, you step through them prepared rather than overwhelmed. Trust that delays were not denials, but preparation. Every stage has served a purpose in shaping the strength you now carry. There will be moments of gratitude that catch you unexpectedly, reminding you that what once felt like loss has led to deeper understanding and resilience. You will see how certain disappointments protected you from paths that would not have honored your calling. This perspective will bring peace that surpasses the need for explanations. When you see the bigger picture, you will realize that my guidance has been steady all along. Continue anchoring your heart in prayer and reflection, because connection with me sustains restoration and prevents distraction from pulling you off course. When you seek my presence first, clarity follows naturally and confidence remains stable. I am shaping your future with intentional care, ensuring that what unfolds reflects both growth and grace. Walk forward, knowing that the strength within you is evidence of my faithful work. The storms you faced were not meant to destroy you, but to teach you how to anchor yourself in my presence when everything around you feels uncertain. That anchoring has become part of your identity, and it will not fade when circumstances improve. There was a time when you equated visible success with security, believing that once everything looked stable on the outside, your heart would finally rest. I have been teaching you that true security comes from knowing who you are in me rather than from what you accumulate or achieve. This lesson has shifted your priorities, and you are beginning to value integrity, peace, and alignment over applause and comparison. That internal shift is part of the restoration I promised, because it protects you from chasing what cannot truly satisfy. You are entering a season where your discernment will sharpen, allowing you to recognize what aligns with your growth and what subtly pulls you backward. Situations that once confused you will now feel clearer, and decisions that once felt overwhelming will become manageable. I am strengthening your ability to pause, reflect, and move with intention rather than impulse. This clarity will guard your peace and ensure that you invest your energy wisely. If you sense that your perception is becoming clearer and your heart more settled, write 1717 inches the comments. This declaration affirms your agreement with the process of refinement unfolding within you. It acknowledges that you recognize growth even before every result becomes visible. Agreement strengthens alignment and reinforces the stability I am building in your life. I am also restoring your confidence in your own voice, because there were moments when you silenced yourself out of fear of being misunderstood or rejected. You held back ideas, emotions, and truths because past experiences made you cautious. I am healing that hesitation and reminding you that your perspective carries value. When you speak from a place of calm conviction rather than defensiveness, others will sense authenticity and respond with respect. There will be opportunities for you to lead in ways you once doubted you could, not necessarily in grand public displays, but in consistent daily influence that shapes environments around you. Leadership begins with self-stewardship, and you have been learning to manage your thoughts, emotions, and reactions with greater awareness. That quiet mastery prepares you to guide others with compassion rather than control. I am expanding your capacity gently, ensuring that growth feels sustainable rather than overwhelming. You may also notice that your relationship with uncertainty is changing, because instead of fearing what you cannot predict, you are learning to trust my guidance in each unfolding moment. Uncertainty no longer feels like a threat, but like an invitation to lean closer to me. This shift frees you from the exhausting need to control every detail. Restoration includes freedom from constant anxiety about outcomes. There will be moments when you look back at your former self and feel compassion rather than frustration, because you will understand that you were doing the best you could with the awareness you had at that time. Growth often reveals how much we have changed, and instead of judging your past, you will appreciate the journey that brought you here. I have been patient with you through every phase, and that patience has allowed steady transformation. Extend that same grace to yourself. If your heart is opening to greater self-compassion and renewed strength, declare 333 inches the comments. Let this mark your willingness to embrace who you are becoming without clinging to who you were. Each affirmation strengthens your forward movement. You are not retreating into old limitations, but stepping into expanded confidence. I am restoring balance in areas where you once felt pulled in too many directions, because you are learning to prioritize what truly aligns with your purpose. Distractions that once consumed your energy are gradually losing their appeal. You are becoming more intentional with your time, your conversations, and your commitments. This intentional living will produce stability that feels calm rather than chaotic. Why is everyone rushing to this 7-second brain ritual? Leaked CIA files exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the door to wealth fast. Verified by 4 top neuroscience labs, it's turning financial stress into abundance almost overnight. But this secret won't stay public for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it's deleted forever. There will be conversations ahead that confirm your growth, where others notice the steadiness in your tone and the clarity in your decisions. You will realize that the change within you is visible, even if it unfolded quietly over time. This recognition will not inflate your pride, but deepen your gratitude. You will see that every season of patience contributed to this maturity. I am also strengthening your resilience so that when unexpected challenges arise, they do not unravel your confidence. Instead of viewing obstacles as signs of failure, you will recognize them as opportunities to apply the wisdom you have gained. This mindset will transform how you experience difficulty. What once drained you will now refine you. Continue to remain close to me in reflection and prayer, because connection sustains growth and guards against distraction. Restoration flourishes in an atmosphere of awareness and gratitude. When you center yourself in my presence, your perspective remains balanced and your decisions grounded. I am guiding you step by step, ensuring that what unfolds aligns with the strength you now carry. I am drawing you into a season where your awareness of my presence becomes more natural than your awareness of pressure, because you are no longer living from a place of survival but from a place of steady trust. There was a time when every small shift in circumstances felt like a potential threat, and you carried tension in your body as if something might fall apart at any moment. I have been loosening that tension gently, teaching you to breathe again without bracing for disappointment. This ease you are beginning to feel is not complacency, but confidence rooted in the understanding that I am guiding your steps. You have grown beyond the version of yourself that constantly needed reassurance from external validation, because you are discovering that my affirmation is more stable than public approval. There were moments when you measured your worth by how others responded to you, and silence or criticism felt like rejection. I have been separating your identity from those reactions so that you stand secure even when applause fades. This separation protects your peace and anchors your confidence in something that does not shift with opinion. There are subtle changes in how you think that reveal the depth of restoration taking place within you, because your thoughts are no longer dominated by worst-case scenarios. You still consider possibilities, but you do not spiral into fear as easily as you once did. That mental steadiness is evidence of growth, and it allows you to approach life with clarity instead of panic. I am strengthening your mind so that it serves you rather than overwhelms you. If you recognize this shift toward calmer thinking and stronger identity, write 444 inches the comments. Let this affirmation reflect your agreement with the peace forming within you. Each declaration strengthens the alignment between your faith and your daily choices. You are reinforcing the foundation that has been quietly built through perseverance. I am also restoring your relationship with hope, because there were seasons when you protected yourself by expecting little and preparing for disappointment. That self-protection may have felt wise at the time, but it gradually dimmed your joy and limited your vision. I am reviving a balanced hope within you, one that trusts my character without ignoring wisdom. This hope is steady and grounded, and it fuels forward movement without reckless impulse. You may notice that your goals are becoming more aligned with who you truly are, rather than who you once felt pressured to be. Ambitions that were rooted in comparison are losing their appeal, and desires that reflect authenticity are rising instead. This realignment is part of restoration, because it frees you from chasing what does not truly fulfill you. I am shaping a life for you that feels honest and sustainable rather than impressive but exhausting. There will be moments when you feel prompted to step outside your comfort zone in small but meaningful ways, such as initiating a conversation, pursuing an idea, or letting go of a lingering attachment. These steps may not appear dramatic, but they represent courage that has matured through experience. Each action reinforces the strength within you and confirms that fear no longer dictates your choices. I am guiding you into expansion that feels natural rather than forced. I am also restoring your ability to rest without guilt, because you once equated constant activity with value and productivity with worth. You pushed yourself relentlessly, believing that slowing down meant falling behind. I am teaching you that rest is not laziness, but renewal, and that pausing allows clarity to return. This healthier rhythm will sustain you far longer than constant striving ever could. If you are ready to embrace both action and rest in healthy balance, declare 666 inches, the comments. This statement marks your decision to trust my design rather than exhausting yourself through comparison. Balance strengthens endurance and protects joy. You are learning to move with wisdom rather than urgency. As you continue forward, you will sense a deeper gratitude for the journey itself, not only for the destination you once fixated on. You are beginning to see how every delay, every closed door, and every lesson contributed to the person you have become. That perspective softens regret and replaces it with appreciation. Gratitude will anchor your joy even when circumstances fluctuate. I am strengthening your resilience in subtle ways, ensuring that setbacks no longer feel like personal failures, but like temporary detours that can be navigated with patience. When challenges arise, you will pause rather than panic, reflect rather than react. This steady response reflects maturity that has been shaped over time. You are no longer easily shaken because your confidence is rooted in something deeper than outcome. There will be increased clarity in your communication as well, because you are learning to express yourself honestly without over-explaining or shrinking back. You will notice that your words carry calm authority rather than defensiveness. This shift will improve your relationships and create healthier boundaries. Restoration includes the courage to speak truth with kindness and conviction. You are also becoming more selective about what you allow to influence your thoughts, because you recognize that constant noise can erode peace. This discernment protects your focus and preserves your clarity. You will invest more time in reflection, prayer, and intentional growth rather than distraction. These choices will compound over time, producing visible stability in your life. Is this the same CIA brain ritual changing lives in seconds? A new leak reveals a powerful 7-second technique developed under secret research. Backed by neuroscience, people are moving from debt to wealth and luxury faster than believed possible. But this secret may be deleted soon. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. I am not rushing this transformation because lasting change requires steady reinforcement rather than sudden intensity. Each day builds upon the previous one, and each small decision shapes the next outcome. Trust the process unfolding, even when progress feels gradual. I am aligning circumstances with the strength you now carry. There will come a moment when you realize that the anxiety which once defined your daily life has significantly diminished, and that realization will bring both relief and gratitude. You will see that what once felt permanent was actually temporary. My presence has been the constant thread through every season. Restoration is not an isolated event, but a continual renewal of perspective, identity, and peace. Now you are beginning to recognize that not knowing everything does not mean you are unprotected. I have been proving to you through experience that my guidance is reliable and that realization is calming the parts of you that once braced for impact. You are no longer reacting to life from wounds that have already been healed, because you have allowed me to touch the places that once felt too sensitive to confront. Growth required honesty, and you chose to face truths about yourself that were uncomfortable but necessary. That courage has reshaped your inner world, and the peace you feel now is evidence of that transformation. You are living less from fear and more from awareness, and that shift is powerful. There is a new layer of confidence forming in you that does not seek constant reassurance from others, because you are learning to trust your alignment with me. When you sense peace about a decision, you no longer question it endlessly or search for unanimous approval. You move forward with measured conviction, understanding that discernment is built through relationship with me. This quiet assurance will guide you through opportunities and challenges alike. If you feel this steady confidence strengthening within you, write 888 inches the comments. Let this declaration reflect your agreement with the calm courage developing in your spirit. It is not about proving anything outwardly, but about affirming inwardly that you trust the growth taking place. Agreement reinforces stability. I am also restoring your relationship with discipline, because in the past you may have oscillated between intense effort and discouragement when immediate results did not appear. I am teaching you consistency rather than extremes, showing you that steady habits produce lasting change. The small daily choices you make now are shaping a future that feels grounded instead of rushed. Discipline rooted in peace will carry you further than ambition rooted in pressure. You are becoming more aware of how your thoughts influence your emotions, and you are learning to interrupt patterns that once led you into cycles of worry. Instead of allowing one negative thought to expand into overwhelming fear, you pause and realign with truth. This mental resilience is part of your restoration, because it protects your clarity and preserves your focus. You are not ignoring reality, but responding to it with balanced perspective. There will be opportunities soon that test this new steadiness, not to unsettle you, but to confirm how far you have come. Situations that once would have triggered doubt will now reveal your growth. You will respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, and you will recognize that change within yourself. That recognition will strengthen your trust in the process even more. If you are willing to continue choosing steady growth over temporary comfort, declare 14 inches the comments. Let this be a marker of your commitment, to remain anchored even when old habits try to resurface. Each affirmation deepens your resolve. You are reinforcing the foundation that has been carefully built. I am restoring your ability to experience joy without suspicion, because there were times when you hesitated to fully enjoy good moments out of fear that something negative might follow. That guarded mindset limited your happiness and kept you from embracing blessings wholeheartedly. I am healing that anticipation of loss and teaching you to receive good things with gratitude rather than caution. Joy is not a trap, but a gift meant to be embraced. You may notice that your conversations are changing as well, because you speak with greater clarity and less self-doubt. You are no longer apologizing for your presence or shrinking your opinions to make others comfortable. This balanced confidence creates healthier dynamics in your relationships. Restoration includes reclaiming your voice without becoming harsh or defensive. There is also a deeper compassion forming within you, because the hardships you endured have given you insight into struggles that others hide. Instead of judging quickly, you listen more patiently and respond with understanding. This empathy will strengthen your connections and expand your influence in subtle but meaningful ways. The strength you gained through pain is now becoming a source of support for others. I am guiding you toward environments that reflect your growth rather than challenge it unnecessarily. Places that once felt draining will gradually lose their hold on you, and spaces that encourage stability will become more prominent. Pay attention to where you feel clarity and calm, because those environments align with your current season. Alignment preserves peace. You are also learning to forgive yourself more quickly when you fall short, understanding that growth is a journey rather than a flawless performance. Instead of dwelling on minor missteps, you correct them and move forward with renewed intention. This self-compassion accelerates maturity because it prevents stagnation in shame. I have always extended grace to you, and now you are extending it to yourself. There will be days ahead when you look back and hardly recognize the anxious version of yourself who once doubted every step. That reflection will not bring embarrassment, but gratitude for the distance you have traveled. You will see that what felt overwhelming was shaping you into someone more resilient and self-aware. My guidance has been consistent, even when your understanding was limited. Continue nurturing your connection with me through quiet moments of reflection and gratitude, because intimacy sustains transformation. The more you center your thoughts on truth rather than fear, the stronger your peace will remain. I am not finished shaping your character, and the growth ahead will feel natural rather than forced. Trust that every lesson learned has prepared you for greater stability. Do you know why people keep whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual? A leaked brainwave method is spreading quietly and changing financial realities worldwide. Proven by neuroscience, this simple ritual attracts money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're so lucky. Click the link in the comments before it's taken down. You are stepping into a chapter marked by balance, discernment, and confidence that does not need to announce itself loudly. Your presence will carry calm assurance, and your decisions will reflect clarity shaped by experience. Restoration is continuing to unfold steadily, revealing strength you did not know you possessed. Remain anchored in my presence, and you will continue to walk forward with peace that is quiet, powerful, and enduring. You interpreted resistance as rejection and delay as denial, yet I was strengthening muscles within you that could not have developed in comfort alone. The very pressure you once wished away was building endurance that you now rely on daily. What you survived has become part of your stability, even if you rarely stop to acknowledge it. You are beginning to see that growth does not always arrive with celebration, but often through quiet adjustments in how you think, speak, and respond. You no longer spiral as quickly when something unexpected happens, and that calm response reveals how much you have matured. The version of you that once reacted from fear is gradually being replaced by someone who pauses and seeks wisdom first. This transformation is not dramatic on the outside, but it is profound within. There was a time when you questioned whether you were truly progressing because change felt slow and invisible. I want you to understand that steady progress is often the most sustainable kind, because it builds layer upon layer of strength without overwhelming your capacity. You have been moving forward even when it did not feel like it, and every small act of discipline has compounded into meaningful growth. Nothing done in faith and consistency has been wasted. If you recognize that you are stronger now than you were before, write 2121 in the comments. Let this affirmation be a moment of honest acknowledgement of your growth. It is not pride, but gratitude for how far you have come. Agreement with truth reinforces confidence. I am restoring your relationship with responsibility, not as a burden that exhausts you, but as an opportunity to steward your gifts wisely. You once feared greater responsibility because you doubted your ability to handle it without collapsing under pressure. Now you are equipped with balance and perspective that allow you to carry more without losing peace. I am expanding your capacity gently so that increase feels manageable rather than overwhelming. You are also learning to detach from outcomes that are beyond your control, understanding that your role is obedience and effort while results unfold in their proper time. This detachment does not mean indifference, but trust. It frees you from obsessing over every detail and allows you to focus on what you can influence directly. Such freedom preserves your energy and protects your mental clarity. There will be moments when you notice how differently you handle conversations that once intimidated you. You speak with more composure and less internal turbulence because your identity is no longer tied to winning approval. You are secure enough to disagree respectfully and confident enough to listen without feeling threatened. This emotional maturity strengthens every relationship in your life. If you are willing to continue releasing control over what you cannot manage, declare 18 inches the comments. Let this serve as a reminder that surrender brings peace rather than loss. Each declaration aligns your heart with trust instead of anxiety. You are choosing steadiness over strain. I am restoring your long-term vision, because discouragement once narrowed your focus to immediate survival. When you are constantly reacting to pressure, it becomes difficult to plan beyond the next problem. Now that your internal world is stabilizing, you can see further ahead without feeling overwhelmed. This renewed vision will guide your decisions with intention rather than impulse. You may also notice that gratitude arises more naturally, even on ordinary days that once felt insignificant. You are appreciating simple stability, quiet progress, and moments of clarity that previously went unnoticed. This awareness strengthens joy and reduces the need for constant excitement. Contentment does not mean you stop growing, but that you value the present while moving toward the future. There is a greater alignment forming between your thoughts and your actions, because you are becoming consistent in what you believe and how you live.